Welcome to the development of ethical reasoning in the emergence of caring and integrity. Module 1. What is ethics? Ethics is recognized as one of the areas of the K-State 8 program that exposes students to a broad range of knowledge in different academic areas. Quoting from the website, courses and experiences in ethical reasoning and responsibility should assist students in learning how to think through ethical dilemmas and make sound decisions when facing real-life situations. Ethical reasoning requires the study of standards by which human behavior and interactions can be considered right or wrong, defining the concepts of right and wrong, good and bad, and how we make these determinations. For centuries, there's been a lively philosophical debate on determining the nature of ethics and what is right and wrong. The virtue ethics of Socrates and Aristotle and the Stoics began the debate. The principal ethics of Kant's moral imperative emphasized action in accordance with duty. The Utilitarianism Ethics of Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill argued the proper course of action is one that maximizes overall happiness. The Relational Ethics of Nell Noddings, Carol Gilligan, and other feminists who emphasize the responsibility to and for others. Then there are the moral relativists who have argued for centuries that nobody is objectively right or wrong and that we ought to tolerate the behavior of others even when we disagree about the morality of it. According to moral relativists, we are not bound together by ethical commonality. Therefore, education has to be value neutral. Rushworth Kidder, founder of the Institute for Global Ethics, wrote in his article, "There's Only Ethics." There was a story reported in one of the New York newspapers a while ago about a 10-year-old child who found on the street a wallet full of money, full of credit cards, and full of identification. He reportedly took the wallet to school, where he could find no one, no teacher, no administrator, willing to tell him what was the right thing to do with that wallet. Essentially, they all said to him, "Gee, I can't impose my values on you. I mean, if I told you what to do, that would not be right. You have to sort it out for yourself. Otherwise, it's my ethics and not yours. Besides, you're poor and this guy is obviously rich. Your mother might be mad I told you to send the wallet back. No, you figure it out for yourself." When visiting with a group of students at dinner, they told him those teachers and those administrators were absolutely right. There's no way you should impose your values on that kid. Kidder then asks, why has our educational system delivered us into a situation in which even the most fundamental concepts of honesty, responsibility, and respect for others are not being taught? With ethical relativism, schools abandon children to a frigid vacuum. For those who worry that asserting fundamental moral principles will offend people of different faiths, consider the work of Dr. Hans Kung and his collaborators from All Beliefs, who created an interfaith declaration toward a global ethic. The document was signed at the Parliament of the World's Religions gathering in 1993 by more than 200 leaders from more than 40 different faith traditions and spiritual communities. Since 1993, the declaration has been signed by thousands of leaders and individuals around the world. As such, the declaration is a powerful statement of the ethical common ground shared by the world's religious and spiritual traditions.
Reach for the stars, reach so high.
The basic values in the declaration focused on nonviolence and respect for life, justice and solidarity, honesty and tolerance, mutual esteem and partnership between men and women. Every individual has intrinsic dignity and inalienable rights, and each also has an inescapable responsibility for what he or she does and does not do. All our decisions and deeds, even our omissions and failures, have consequences. According to the Declaration, keeping this sense of responsibility alive, deepening it and passing it on to future generations, is the special task of religions. In many areas of life, a new consciousness of ethical responsibility has already arisen. Ethics is critical. Our communities and nation depends on the ethics and moral integrity of its citizens. Consider this circumstance. You don't want a moral relativist to pass you by. You want someone to stop, who has a conscience, and an ethical framework that motivates them to get out of the car and rush to your aid. Although it has its origins in philosophy, ethics is more than philosophy. Ethics is the heart and mind in action. Conscience is our ethical enforcer. Our conscience is our moral compass. What is conscience? What does it mean? Conscience is an internal voice that obliges us to act in a caring and responsible manner, and to make things right as best we can when we do not. Our ethics is given life in our conscience. Our ethics and conscience do not simply spring up during adolescence. Both are the result of a human nature that seeks others, enriched by the power of a loving community. From the moment children are born, they can begin to learn a code of 5 core convictions.
Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling?
Be kind to others. Be faithful to your word. Be fair in your relationships with others. Protect and defend the vulnerable and the weak. Protect oneself without conflict with the first 4. In the modules that follow in the development of ethical reasoning and the emergence of caring and integrity, we will explore a blue-collar approach to our ethical framework. How are intellect and emotion integrated in a personal moral core? Is there an animal morality? What can animals tell us about our own morality? Is there a human nature? What are the childhood origins of caring and conviction? What is the relationship between ethics and a caring community? How do we make ethical decisions? What is the relationship between willpower, courage, and ethical decisions? How do we make ethical decisions when our convictions collide? Does evil exist, and does it emerge in a sociopathic personality? What is the relationship between professional and personal ethics? Ethics is not an intellectual abstraction. Our ethics does not emerge from the arm wrestling of philosophers, nor is it found only in a professional code or in a government's laws. Instead, our ethics evolves from our own experience as human beings as we shape our core principles. All ethics is personal. Ethics is the core that defines us.